Hello, I'm Shomukush. Today I thought we will all go to our childhood days. So let's start.
Hello everyone and welcome to the childhood. Although our poem's name is not the childhood, but it's related to it. Why? Because in the childhood we based on our imagination rather than our real life. Because we believe on our imagination. And when we go towards our maturity, that imagination fades. Because this bustling life comes, this busy life comes to destroy the imagination power. Then we have to be practical, we have to go for our career. But childhood is the only time when we can go everywhere we want. So our poet and author, actually he is very well known as an author, George Bernard Shaw. His famous play, means he is a playwright also. His famous play is Arms on the Man and the Pygmalion also, it's written here. So we will read a poem of him. So let's read what is imagination. So as from the title we may know that our poet is talking about the imagination. So let's see how our poet is imaginative and how we in our childhood can relate with it. I used to play at pirates and sail the seven seas. Then I was a cowboy. These simple things did me please. I had a vivid imagination, adventure was on my mind. I discovered the joys of reading and escaped the daily grind. Once I lived with the Eskimos in the land of ice and snow, went hunting and a fishing. My fantasy was all aglow. So I'm starting the explanation with the three stanzas, first three stanzas. So in the first stanza, our poet has said, I used to play means it was his past habit. So used to play at pirates means used to play as pirates. Who is a pirate? Pirate is the one who used to go for the sea voyage and to wander another land, like we had already seen those people who started the sea voyage at the first and the very earlier, like the Spanish and the Portuguese. We know one of them, like Vasco da Gama, came in 1498 in India in the Calicut port. So then they started their journey from their country and they wanted to discover any land. Okay, so pirates are those also who actually wanted to go with the sea voyage and also to steal those ships which are full of jewelries and money. So they also waited in the sea with their equipments, with their members, and when the ship full of jewelry comes, they used to go there, and they grab it, they capture the ship, and they steal all of the things which had been stored in the ship. So our poet in his childhood wants to play with the pirates or as pirates. So he wanted to think himself as pirate and sailed the seven seas. In our storybooks, we already had seen and we have listened the story from our grandmother or the grandfather that this is the seven seas stories. And we imagine that if we could go for the seven seas, if we would sail for the seven seas, what the fun it would be. Then I was a cowboy. Cowboy means not the disciplined. Okay? So what the discipline we maintain in our students' life, it's totally omitted here. A cowboy means a rough and tough look with the hat as we can see here. Okay, and I have also drawn a thing to show you what's the cowboy look. Here it's the cowboy and the pirate look also. So this boy means our poet is thinking about the pirate, as he is a pirate and he is going for the seven seas sea voyage. Then, these simple things did me please. So if I arrange this line, means these simple things pleased me. So did me please, actually it's a pleased me in the past tense. So in my past times means our poet is thinking about his childhood that he lost now. So he is thinking and telling us about his past days which he has been lost now. Okay, so he used to think about the pirates, he used to think about the seven seas, and these things would please him very much. Okay, come to the next stanza. I had a vivid imagination. Vivid means pictorial, colorful, or picturesque. So I had a vivid imagination. Obviously, for this imagination, we need to be very much colorful mind. If we don't have, if we are serious enough, we can't go for that imagination. Okay? So we need the childish mind to think about those imaginations. As I'm a pirate and I'm voyaging the sea. So adventure was on my mind. The child mind is full of adventure. I discovered the joys of reading and escaped the daily grind. Oh, so our poet, from where he is getting the idea? He is getting the idea from the book. So as you are reading the book, as you are also imagining, if you are doing this, so you are getting the idea from the book. So our poet is also getting the idea from the book, from where he got to know there was a kind of persons who called pirates, and there was a place that belongs to the seven seas, and escaped the daily grind. Daily grind means the busy life. Here he wanted to point out those things, as in our childhood our parents every time scold us to do our daily routine or to do our homework. So he doesn't like those things to do the homework, and he wanted to escape in the vault where he can solve the mystery, where he can find any adventure. Okay, then come to the third stanza. Once I lived with the Eskimos. Now I want to show you what's the Eskimos. It's all about the ice and snow. So here's a cold feeling with the snow-covered mountain, and here our poet is thinking about those Eskimos who skates on this ice, and they made some buildings which is called that Eskimos, and they are igloos. So in our childhood books we also have known about these things. Okay, so what they do, let's come to our stanza. So once I lived with the Eskimos. So he is thinking that once he lived with those Eskimos in the land of ice and snow. As I have shown you, this is the land, the mountain covered with the snow. Went hunting and fishing. So those people went hunting and fishing. My fantasy was aglow. Aglow means with a brightness. Yes, when in our childhood we imagine this is all the bright thing we are doing. But when we are growing up, we are missing it. We are just living out our past days in those heaps of our memories. So, our poet wants to remember those days that he left out, and that was the most brightful day. Okay, students? So, we will later discuss the third stanza, the latter fourth stanza in the latter videos. So, for today, it's bye bye.